What's going on, guys? What's new?
Not much, just almost drenched my desk in water.
I remember I did that one time while I was streaming, and I just poured coffee all over. I used to have like one of um, those longer mouse pads that would go underneath like,
Yeah.
the keyboard too. I just ruined it. It was just like streaming, and I don't know what I was doing, but like I think I had my mug like right in the middle. So like I have my keyboard and mouse, and then like I'll have my mic kind of in between myself and the keyboard, and I don't know why, but I took a sip of coffee and didn't like put it over on the side of my desk, which would make sense. I just put it in front of me. So it was like directly underneath my mic, but in front of my keyboard. So it was like, okay, I'm going to be playing a game, which will most likely involve me using the keyboard. And when I did that, of course, I knocked over the fucking. And so, yeah, I used to have one of those. And thankfully, it was just like a black one and it wasn't like a nice one. Cause I've seen, Riley, don't you have one? You have like a really nice one.
Yeah. Well, and I spill like
Cute.
spill ramen on it, and so there's like, freaking red splotches.
Yeah. I feel like I can't have a nice one because well I have not bought a new one since then. Mostly because I'm just like, well, I could definitely see that happening again, whether it be coffee or something else, and I just don't want to spend money on something like that and have it be nice and then ruin it. So, yeah.
I had a really, it was, I don't remember if I was playing with you guys or with other friends or whatever it was, but I think I was like finishing lunch and someone wanted to play something in the afternoon. And so I like hopped on and I wasn't really thinking about it and we're chatting. And I was like, guys, I gotta go. I just spilled yogurt all over my keyboard. And I'm like, why yogurt? Why do you have yogurt on your desk? I was like, I was eating it and don't worry about it. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. I fortunately did not get it like in the keyboard because I just have a gaming laptop, so like
Mm.
it would have been fucked. Um, Cleaned everything up, came back, and I did not learn my lesson. I did it again like 5 minutes later, and I was like, guys, I gotta call it. There's just yogurt everywhere. Not my
Oops, all
best.
yogurt.
Oops, all yogurt.
Yeah, I do a lot of eating at my desk too. Like, I don't, do you guys even
Mhm.
have like dining tables? Like, 'cause I think it's just eating at the desk, eating at the coffee table, period.
Yeah,
I
dining room table is exclusively for board games.
yeah. It's like storage. Like I have one
Yeah.
and Hannah sat at it and like we ate waffles at it one morning, but like there was a lot I use it for storage more than it's like like mail,
Hmm.
just stuff that I bought and I'm not quite sure where I'm gonna put it yet, maybe. Um, just random bits and bobbles of random bullshit trips. I don't know. Like it's just that's like more so the table where I put shit. And it's not actually necessary. I mean, Tony and I use it for eating dinner, but it's really just storage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a classic like thing that's passed down over time that I feel like people our generation just don't use as much as other people did. Like if I have kids, I don't it'd be nice to have a sit down dinner periodically, but like it's not going to be an every night thing. That seems silly.
Yeah.
Thinking about it, like growing up, I don't even know if I we had sit down dinners, but it wasn't a consistent thing, not like what I've seen in other families. Like when I would go visit friends or something and they would have me over for dinner, it was like a very rigid, hey, 5:30 or 6 p.m. is dinner time, go wash up, come down, then we have dinner. But at
Hmm.
my house it was kind of like, well, because my parents worked all the time and I was also like a latchkey kid, so um my brother and I was it was just kind of like we're home to make dinner, then that's like sometimes. So I don't know, it was not consistent. It was random times and yeah, so I guess also our dining room table is really just for show too at home now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely I think the most we would sit down is if we got like takeout because then it was a quick and easy thing where no one had to make food or labor over it for hours and we could just eat it out on like takeout either takeout containers or like paper plates and then it was like yeah we'll sit at the table because no one has to clean up.
I remember our dining room table was huge. I think we used it when we were little. Like we would do dinners every night when I was young, and then when we were older, we just didn't. But it's like huge, and we had a whole like it was just the dining room, and it's just like a
Hmm.
huge room and a huge table, and I feel like that's part of the, like, our generation not having as much money as their parents. We're like, well, we can cut out that whole room. And who needs a big expensive table, really?
Mhm.
Yeah, we got super lucky when we bought this house. That was like the one thing that they were like, we could just leave this for you. They left us a whole dining room set because we were like, we'd probably buy one. We do dinner parties every now and again, or like when Ben's parents come over, they want to sit at the dining room table. But like, we wouldn't probably would have put off buying one for ourselves for literally years. It would have been so far down the road. But they left us this like big, beautiful hardwood table, and that's pretty nice. And a china cabinet that's filled with Legos and board games.
I'd love to have dinner parties. Like if like when I get a house, whenever that will be. I think that yeah, I would love to have a dining table and then have friends over to make like a nice dinner and stuff. Because I just feel like that's fun. And also, I've seen so many people talk about like having just like potluck dinners with their friends all the time, and I feel like that's
Mhm.
fun. Like people bring different dishes, desserts, drinks, whatever they feel like bringing, and then people end up with duplicates because people are like all thinking the same thing. They feel like
Yep.
like a, a bunch of different kinds of brownies, but no actual food.
That's a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we host not infrequently. Ben likes to cook, fortunately, and he loves to host. So like we'll have friends over probably like once a month or so. Nothing super fancy, but like we'll have people over and do a nice dinner with everyone and especially if our friends are like doing something really busy or super stressed out about things. It's like, just come over tonight. We'll cook dinner. It gives us an excuse to like actually eat vegetables and like a healthy meal, and you also get food.
That's something as like I'm getting older, I'm just like, Tony, how many times did we eat vegetables this week? We have to like make a point to like include it in our next few meals, Like, like
I I felt so old today. I went to the grocery store and literally as I was picking things out, I was like, you know what I don't get enough of? I don't get enough fiber in my diet. And so I spent like half an hour wandering around the grocery store trying to find like ways I could add it to my diet. I've never felt so old.
That's crazy.
I don't. We don't eat enough fiber. You're supposed to eat a lot of fiber in a day, and I do not get that much.
What is even fiber? Like, I feel like I don't, like, when you're saying, like, I could not pick out a food that's like, oh, that's high in fiber. Like, I don't know.
Vegetables are the classic.
Okay.
Grains, which is actually the reason that I probably struggle more, is I'm gluten free, so I can't do like
Oh.
breads and stuff like that. But vegetables are the big one, and I'm just like awful about consistently eating vegetables. So I got veggies too, but I honestly just got like those Olipop drinks instead.
Those are good.
yeah.
Hey, it works.
See, I feel like I love vegetables, and like Tino is the only one who will not cook them. Like if he's making a meal, like he made a pasta the other day, and I was like, it was just all tan, because it was like chicken and then the pasta and then like the cheese sauce, and it was all just like that tan color. And I was like, no veggies? And he's like, there's onions in there. And I'm like, not what I meant.
Ooh. Yeah, I got a cucumber. That was the big thing I got because I tried, I don't know if I mentioned this before. I made pickles for the first time
Oh
a couple
yeah, that's
weeks ago.
awesome. Love
Yeah,
making pickles.
they came out really good, so I think I would have tried that again.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a lot of vegetables, to be honest. That's gonna last me like 2 days.
One cucumber.
Yeah, I'm not very good at this fiber thing. I've established this. I'm doing my best.
It's their fault for like dying so easily, to be fair. It's the vegetables' fault. Because you can buy like a fridge full of vegetables and that only lasts you like, I don't know, a couple days.
You mean for going bad?
Yeah, like what did you, what did I
You
say?
said you said dying so easily. I was like,
Yeah,
what's
like
dying?
I, yeah, there's no like, I guess rotting. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's why I don't buy like that many. Because I'm like, well, I can't get too many because then they're gonna go bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do that too. It's like when we get fresh vegetables and stuff, because we'll get like a whole bunch of like frozen vegetables to toss into things like pasta, stir fries, whatever.
That's a good
Um,
idea.
but like we really do try to like incorporate fresh vegetables, but it's like you said, it it's so easy for them to like go bad. And so we'd only maybe buy like two kinds at a time, and then we'd be like, okay, we got to cook it just like now, like
Yeah.
immediately, because you blink and that shit's just gonna, I mean, that's not like an avocado or anything, but like fuck avocados too. I mean, I like avocados, but fuck avocado.
Peaches, it's peach season. I'm
Ooh,
so pissed
yeah.
off. I only ever buy two. I'm like, as soon as I know that they're good, I'm gonna eat one and then I'll eat that next one the next day. And without fail, the second one always gone bad. I hate it. It makes me so mad.
It's like the thing too, because like we'll shop, like we'll grocery shop at Aldi a lot, but it's unfortunate because like a lot of their produce comes in like big ass bag. So it's like, oh, I only need like one or two onions. It's like, oh, here's like 4 or 5 pounds of onions. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm not gonna fucking use all these onions.
Yeah.
Like, so, or it's like, oh, here's a bag of nectarines, and they'll probably go bad before you eat all of them.
Hmm.
And so I'm like, I have to eat like two nectarines a day to like make sure
For a week.
that we eat it before it goes bad. I'm just like, okay, it's nectarine week.
Yep.
Jesus.
And you don't know when they are good either. So like if you get an underripe one, then you have to eat like a nectarine a day just to test it to see if it's good. And then as soon as it's good, you got to start eating like a nectarine every hour.
Uh, yeah. There was like a few times where I feel like we just didn't even notice that something was bad, but we bought it, and then I don't know if it was like the store that wasn't rotating it, or we just maybe more time passed and we didn't realize it. Like, Riley, remember when you were talking about how you were making dinner and your options were they were not good when you were gonna cook them? And I was like, oh, that's totally happened to me before, where I feel like I just bought this. But when I was thinking I just bought it, it was really like it was quite a while ago when I bought whatever it was, and that makes sense that it's bad now.
Yeah. It was like I think it was like a week, to be fair. It was a week since I bought the chicken, but I swear to God that I bought it and it was like Best Buy that current day. And I just did not realize. I was just like, oh, chicken. And like I didn't read the Best Buy date. And then it was like, it was the first time I think I've opened up like a package of meat and it just smelled bad. Because
Ooh.
I feel like if
Yeah.
you're over a few days, it doesn't get that bad. But yeah, meat is, I guess, worse than that. Worse than vegetables going bad.
So I'm pivoting here real hard, but I heard about this today and I wanted to talk about it today with you guys because I thought it was hilarious. So, did you guys hear about the Secret Service woman who broke into the salon nearby to use the bathroom because she was working a Kamala Harris event?
No.
No.
Mm. Okay, so yeah, this Secret Service agent, she broke into a salon to use the bathroom. I guess there were no bathrooms wherever the venue was or wherever they were. And she broke in, but like beforehand, there was like a camera outside the salon. And the camera caught her taking a piece of tape or something and like taping over the security camera.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so like the salon owner, she had an alarm set up, right? And it broke, like they broke in or picked the lock or something. And so the alarm started going off because it sensed that like with the door was open, the code was not put in before whatever time, you know what? And so they were using the bathroom, and I guess like it gets extra stupid because I guess there was like local law enforcement that came to check it out, but they didn't do anything about it. So there's cameras on the inside that the salon owner has, just showing a couple like local law enforcement women just taking some mints from like the reception area and not doing anything about anything. Like you can hear the alarm going off. They're just standing around, they take some mints and then they leave. And so like the next day the salon owner comes in, is like the doors, I think it's the next day, but she comes in, the door's unlocked and everything. Um, she checks the cameras and that's what she sees, and she's like, "What the fuck is this? And yeah, like they worked it out. They found that it was like one of the Secret Service people that were assigned to Kamala nearby, and that's what happened. I was like, "What?" All of this sounds so silly, like, but I guess Secret Service now is saying that they were allowed to be there. Okay, if you're allowed to be there, why'd she have to do the thing with the camera? Why'd she have to either break in or pick the lock to the door? And if they knew, why was the alarm just continuously going
Yeah.
off? Like, why did the salon owner not know about any of this?
There
Yeah.
wasn't just like a gas station nearby that they could go to.
Guess not.
I love that at no point did like the salon owner, like did either the Secret Service person or the like local police like contact the salon owner. Like, by the way, like she just found out later from the cameras.
Yeah, I guess so.
So bizarre.
Oh, wait.
But was
I
it
have to find this.
so bad? Like, if you, I guess if you're like her security and you're leaving anyways, just go find a bathroom. Why would you break into a place?
I feel like it's like a power trip, man. I would love to be like, yeah, I could do anything. I have Secret Service. I guess I could just break into places.
Oh my God. Yeah, okay. If like multiple people, it was one person who actually did the initial break-in, but like other people were using it, just call. It's a business. Her number's online.
It's
That's
probably even on the door or something too. I have a friend who owns a salon and her number and everything is right on the front fucking door. It's
Also, it's not
so
even like
weird.
your security for the vice president who's campaigning to be the president. You could just be like, "Hey, we're here. We need to use your bathroom." Just like don't even ask. Just tell them.
Yeah.
They'd probably come back and unlock it for you. Ugh.
It it's weird.
I feel like I need to map out how far apart these things are. Because like I feel like that is what is getting me is like how
How far did they walk to decide where to break in? Because there had to have been people
yeah.
walking around outside. Like it was a rally.
Like there how is it that you're somewhere where there are no other bathrooms close by? Because like a McDonald's. There's McDonald's everywhere. You can go to McDonald's. Like
Or
what?
even if there's an event too and it's not actually like at like a venue indoors or something and it's all set up outside. Isn't there some kind of organizers that set up, I mean, they're not the greatest option, but at least it's an option. Aren't there like organizers that set up like outdoor bathrooms or something for this kind of thing? If there's expected to be people there, like they're gonna need to
There,
use the bathroom at some point.
there should be. I mean, so I just sent you. I Google Maps it. It looks like it's like behind the venue where Kamala was campaigning. But like, there's literally a church across the road. There's two hotels the same distance. There's a museum there. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many places you could have gone for a free bathroom that you didn't have to break into.
Yeah. Literally a museum. Like those are like always open, I feel like.
That is so strange.
What the hell? Yeah, she was probably she's probably just not at all thinking and just like saw the closest building and was like, that one's gotta have it. How does the theater not have a bathroom actually?
They probably did. She probably just needed to take a crazy shit and was not thinking.
Or like the lines were too long and she's like, I'm Secret Service. I don't need to wait in lines. I will break in.
What an argument. I'm Secret Service. So I can just use whatever bathroom I
Oh my God.
want.
That person had to have been fired like immediately. That's crazy.
I could see them getting like a suspension or something, you know? People do dumb shit all the time, and I feel like they're just suspended or whatever, with or without pay.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
I feel like if it's
they
a
did break into private property though.
they're like a
Yeah, but
cop
I'm
though. They're like a
yeah,
high level cop. I don't think they'll get anything done to them.
I
Like
mean, like there have been cops that have killed people and just been suspended, so I feel like I
That's true.
I mean, like, you know what I mean? People do crazy shit all the time that they're not supposed to on the job, and then they end up just getting a slap on the wrist or just being told, "Don't do that ever again." Like, okay, weird.
I'm trying to think of the weirdest place I've ever used the bathroom.
I was at a bonfire one time and this girl shit in some dude's yard.
Just in the yard?
Yeah, she got really drunk and just shat in the yard.
Oh.
Damn. That's
Oh.
crazy.
Yeah, it was just like a lot of the girls would just go pee like it because they had this like property that was pretty big, and so there were like woods and stuff. And he was like, "Well, if you guys don't want to go inside, at least like you can just go pee over here in this area." So like the girl just kind of picked one area to just go squat and pee, I guess, and she just squatted and shit instead because she was like really drunk. But
Oh.
yeah, there was that. She came back and told us, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Girl, what did you wipe it?" And she just didn't say nothing. So I'm convinced she didn't wipe at all. She just
To be
shat in the
fair, with
yard.
what?
Yeah,
That's
but
true. That's true.
She
But
was just in someone's yard.
I feel like we had like paper towels or something. She could have done that, but she was also super drunk. So I feel like she also wasn't thinking of, "Ooh, I need to go. I need to bring something to wipe with me." But I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think the weirdest for me is when you go hiking in areas that are like longer trails. They have spots that you can stop, like lean-tos, that you can camp in. And if they're full, then you can, pitch your tent wherever within a certain range. But um, usually, if there's a lean-to, then there's also like an outhouse somewhere nearby. And most of the time in New York, like we're not that like most of our hiking trails aren't that rural. So most of them have like a proper outhouse, like a standing structure, and then a closed door. Um, but we went hiking a couple months ago, and you had to hike like a quarter of a mile away from the lean-to up a hill along this beautiful stream. Like it was a beautiful hike, but it was really far away for some reason. And there was no walls. It was just like it was just a box, and you opened up the lid and there was the hole. But you're just like exposed,
oh
like
my
there's
Oh,
god.
nothing protecting you, which is part of why I think you have to hike so far away.
I would be so scared to even go. Like
Yeah, like if you had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, like I don't know what's out there. I'm not gonna go to the bathroom in the middle of the night over a box.
I
Oh,
feel
it's
like
so
I'd
weird.
I'd feel safer at night because the dark would be my cover. I'd be like, well, I can't see in
There's more
front of me.
animals.
Yeah, but
can't see them, they can't see
I
me.
don't think the animals. I don't think I care if the animals see me taking a shit.
I had to fight with like a salamander. It was hanging out on top of the box, and so I like lifted the lid, and it ran underneath it, and then so like I had to go back and forth with it to like try and get it off of the box. I was so worried the whole time. I was like, the salamander's gonna be like crawling up the side of my leg. I don't want this.
Oh no.
Aw.
Oh my god, it's so anxiety inducing. I just need to use the bathroom. Get the fuck off the lid.
Yeah, I'd rather just be like behind a tree. I don't want to have to hike quarter of a mile to have to fight with a lizard.
Fight. Yeah, it's for a while. I don't know if he still does it, but Tina would take toilet paper with him on job sites because there would be like bathrooms that aren't done yet. So they're hooked up, but they don't have toilet paper, and they're not like supposed to use them because it's like a construction site, and so it's like there's outhouses. But Tina's like, fuck that. And he'll just like use the nice bathrooms, but he has to bring his own toilet paper because they're like not supposed to. Which I think is hilarious.
No one will know.
Yeah, and it's like way nicer. I mean, it's God, I can't imagine like I feel like porta potties at a construction site have to be the worst because there's just always just so many people using them.
Yeah.
It's so gross.
It's like porta potties at like fairs or something. Oh, the
Hmm.
grossest. I'll just wait until I leave.
Yep.
I was at a music festival and I got like a VIP ticket because like you couldn't leave and come back unless you got it. And like the people I was going with had it. And so I was like, well, shit, I guess I'll get one. And they had like VIP porta potties and they were like nice. And I was like, maybe that's worth it. Although I only used it like once, but because you can leave and come back. But like they were just like they were bigger, and I think I don't know, I don't really remember all of the details, but it was just like fancy, and I was like, the things you never know.
There's a when we were traveling in Alaska. Alaska's got like 5 highways. That's about it. It's got like
Oh.
5 main roads.
Interesting.
Yeah, pretty much. We drove from Fairbanks down to Valdez, and you're on, I think it's just one. I think it's literally Route 1 the whole way. But then
Road
about
one.
half, Road 1, and then halfway there, you intersect with 3.
Oh,
And at that intersection is like the only gas station that's like kind of nice. It's literally like a touristy spot because you've got like views of a couple of the big mountains there. Um, they had one working bathroom for like 50 cars at a time, and a line of porta potties that were disgusting. It was the nastiest bathrooms I've ever been in. I was like, I'll use the bathroom in the building because it'll probably be nicer than the porta potties. I was so wrong. It was horrible. I've never been so grossed out. Like, usually it's one of those, like, okay, it's gross, but like, whatever. I've got hand sanitizer. Like, it's not that big of a deal. I like turn around and walk back out. I was like, nope,
Yeah.
I'll wait.
It's like one of those where
Ugh.
every surface imaginable that you can see just looks
Mhm.
like the grossest thing. It's also like fucking, you know what's really gross are the bathrooms in zoos because of like the amount
Ooh.
of people and then like the families and then like the kids will be real gross.
Yeah.
I think it's just a pure volume because of the volume of people that are coming through those every day and every hour and every half hour probably. Because I feel
Yeah.
like every zoo bathroom I've ever visited has just been the one of like some of the most like the nastiest bathrooms I've ever been in.
Yeah. Airports sometimes too.
Mm, yeah.
There's like that fine line between a small airport where it's like they've got one bathroom and it's cleaned once a day, so it's fine, and like really big, so they have people that are just like permanently in there. But that middle-sized airport, sometimes they get missed and they just get so gross.
I feel like in airports it's either really gross or it's like you get lucky and it's right after someone cleans it.
Mhm.
And then it's like, seems usable. But that's been my experience in airports. It's either just you come in with everyone else who came off the same flight,
Mhm.
or maybe there were a few flights that just got out and then everyone's rushing to the bathroom. Or it's just someone is always in there or cleaning, or someone just cleaned it and you get lucky.
it's gotta be like just based on how like how many people and like how often it's cleaned, right? Like is it just shitty bathrooms or just like people don't want to pay to have them cleaned? Like in Alaska, nobody wants that job of like clean this one bathroom that everyone is using.
Yeah.
I never
I
thought about
can
it like that.
I can only assume that it just wasn't worth, like, it was so bad to the point where it just like wasn't worth paying someone to clean that.
But
Oh
if you do it
God.
every, like, let's say you do it every hour, because that bathroom is so filthy, like, or you have someone just kind of cycling in and out, like, it wouldn't get that bad, I would think, unless people are just crazy. Like in Alaska, they're just like
They're just
shitting on the
fucking flinging
floor.
shit around.
Dude, the walls, nasty. It was
How?
so
How does a
gross.
wall get gross?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
It was so bad.
Well, I feel like just in public bathrooms, people just don't give a shit. Well, they give shits, but they don't give a shit like where their shit goes. It's like Tony will tell me all the time at work, like people will just like shit everywhere but the toilet. And I'm like, what the hell? He'll talk about how like people will shit in the garbage can, which is right outside the
Oh,
stall. I'm like, why? Or I think he told me one time someone shit in the sink, and I'm like, whoa,
oh,
take 10 paces back this way. There's a toilet. Like, fucking use that. Why'd you use the sink? Also, this sink's gotta be, that's like, could you imagine someone's just gotta be like, like fucking, like
oh.
maneuver their ass over the sink? It's higher. That's way more work than fucking sitting down on a toilet seat.
We
I,
used to, when I
uh,
worked at a gym in the locker rooms, it was awful. Like old people, it was so bad. They just like, when they had to go, they had to go and they could not make it to the stalls. The amount of times we'd have to call the maintenance guy in and be like, I'm so sorry, but you're the only one with like proper protective equipment. you got to go in there.
Wait,
It
like,
was so bad.
because they couldn't make it because they're old, or is
Yeah.
it just they just didn't care?
I mean, maybe both. I don't really know, but I wasn't there. I didn't see the situations happening. But like, I just remember one in particular is like a woman. She like pooped her pants, and she tried to clean up but in doing so, she decided to like take her underwear and pants off and put them in the sink to wash them off. But then like clearly just gave up and left them there. So we had to call the maintenance guy and be like, "I'm so sorry, but
It's poopy pants.
can you take care of that?" I
Honestly,
always
like
felt
good,
so bad.
good on her for trying. At least you know what her intent was, you know?
Wait,
Yeah.
she left her underwear and her
Yep.
pants in there. I said she just walked out pantsless.
Wait, yeah.
Well, it was a gym that had like a swimming pool, and so I think, I mean, I don't even know who it was. My assumption was
Oh
though,
my
like
god.
lots of people would leave in like their bathing suit and just like wrap a towel around their waist.
Mm.
So my guess is that she did that and just like was able to get out like that, or had an extra pair of clothes or something. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah, she just gave up. She just left them there.
It's like the logistics of these things are funny to think about. Like when I worked in a movie theater, I was ripping tickets one night. It was a busy Friday, and there was a manager who came over and looked very upset. He went into one of the closets that we kept some of the cleaning materials, mops and brooms in. He got a mop bucket, he got a mop. He comes over to me and he's just like, "Well, there's shit in all the urinals." And I was like, "All of the urinals?" And he
All
said,
of them?
"Yes, all of them, all of the urinals." And I think there were like maybe 3 or 4. So, okay. And I said, "Well, wh-" I was really curious. I was just like a little bit of poop or like a lot of bit of, he was like full shits. And I was, so
Oh,
this got me thinking. It was a busy Friday night. This had to have been a coordinated event. So you're not, because he couldn't have been one person. Like I still think about this because it had to have been, like I said, a team effort. So because someone's not shitting a full amount into a urinal, stopping, doing it 2, 3, 4 more times, right?
They get
So it had
four
to have been
shits.
a group of people. And also on top of it, it was a busy Friday night. Again, there is no, there were other people that didn't walk in on this situation, right? And we're just like, okay, because no one told anyone. Because that was the first time any of us found out that night that there was shit in the urinals. And apparently that shit was there for a little bit too.
oh,
Oh, it's coordinated and people are watching it. That's what I'm trying to get at.
yeah.
That's
It has to
insane.
be. That takes so
So,
much time.
yeah.
And
Like,
even doing it all at once, like say you got 4 of your buddies and you're all like, okay, now, like that, there's no way. Like it would take time. So like, are you
but,
staggering?
hey
but
guys,
how do you
I got
plan that out?
plans. I got an idea for our Friday night. We all coordinate. We've got to poop at the same time, fast, and we have to get out.
They all like go
How do
to
This is a
dinner
you
heist.
beforehand. They like go to dinner and like drink a bunch of coffee or something.
Oh my god. Oh my god. And then could you imagine if there was supposed to be one extra person, but that person pooped beforehand and the rest of them got mad at them. They were like, "God damn it, Jimmy. You ruined the plan." Now only fucking 4 out of the 5 urinals are gonna have shit in them. God, you gotta ruin everything.
I like to imagine that out there somewhere is like some guy who's probably like old now, but they're like telling that story. Like, remember that time we all shat in the urinals? Like, not knowing that like you have this like same story, but the different side of it. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
They're probably best buds. They probably get together like maybe once a year for one gigantic get together and they all shit in a bunch of urinals together. They try to recreate it. Maybe that's what that was like their first year of friendship. And that was what sealed the deal. Other people get like friendship bracelets or they I don't know, they
Tattoos.
yeah, tattoos, bonding moments, I don't know, something like that. But them, it's shitting in the urinals together at the same time.
I don't think I could be a part of that club. That takes a lot of like coordination.
And just shitting in front of your friends is That's
That
a
too.
moment.
You know what? Good point. Hadn't thought about that.
That's maybe the
And
weirdest part.
most likely other people. Most likely other people too. Like you're just could you imagine the other people just walking in and they're just like, okay, that's fine. Like the other men that are just like, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm just gonna pee and leave.
I mean, I think that like supports your theory that it's more than one person though, because if I walked in and one person was shitting at a urinal, I'd be like, that guy's not doing something he's supposed to be doing. But if I walk in and there's four guys shitting in urinals, I go, I'm clearly out of the loop. I'll see myself out.
So true. Like one person, they're crazy. Four people, it's like, oh, I'm not. I missed the memo.
Yeah, I'm in the minority here.
It's like opposite day. Oh, we're shitting in the
Yeah.
urinals and pissing in the toilets. You like go into a stall just to take a
Melody's just crying now.
So it's crazy because also it's like they'd have to go in. What if the stalls that are in there are have people in there? They don't unless they bring toilet paper with them, like Tino does, and they were prepared. Oh, that must have been it. They must have been prepared. If they're planning all this, they had to have had toilet paper handy on them. That must have
That's
been it.
that's a good
I mean,
point.
these guys were willing to shit in urinals. I don't think they cared about how dirty they were
They
trying to
just
leave that building.
yeah, they just ran, no
Oh
wiping,
yeah.
running out of the building.
That's so disgusting. Do you imagine the getaway vehicle?
Oh
Freaky.
They
no.
all just have poopy pants. Oh my god.
All right, good talk.
Need a breather after that. All that laughing.
Yeah.
Poop talk.
Yeah, it was a great poop heist.
What if they had like a group chat?
That's what they call themselves.
I'm making up all this lore. These people probably don't even, you know what I mean? They probably don't even remember it.
Oh, they remember.
I mean, if it's how we deduced it was, they'd have to remember.
Yeah.
It'd be a memorable moment.
It was either a massively bonding experience or it was one guy who shit in four urinals. Both of those situations, very memorable.
How could he have so much poop? Either way, it's hilarious. Uh, how did we get on this topic? We were talking about bathrooms, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, because of the Secret Service agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's how we got here. Did you go on your backpacking trip, Hannah?
Yeah, that was the one with the crazy bathroom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it didn't go super well. It ended up being that was like 90 degrees and it was super super humid. So, I did not make it very far. Wasn't feeling good. I think I got heat stroke like immediately. So Ben jogged about 3.5 miles back to the car, drove it around for me so I could drive home. But he and Heather kept going. They did like I think it was like 10 miles that day.
Wow.
Damn.
But the next day was forecasted to be just as hot, so I picked them up at the end of the day and then we came home.
Nice.
But it was cool. It was really pretty. Um, Slept like shit. Sleeping outside is real hit or miss, but no, it was really cool. I definitely want to try again. I'm pretty jealous. While I was in Alaska, one of my classmates actually, I found out was in Alaska at exactly the same time, but he the way that our trips lined up is like the day before we left and the day that he got there, we were like 10 miles away from each other, but I was driving out to leave and he was coming in and then he just like did the same route that we did but in reverse
Hmm.
and he's been backpacking. And I've seen the pictures and it looks pretty incredible.
So with backpacking, do you have to just sleep on the ground with like a sleeping bag?
Yeah, there's a couple options. Ben's preference is these like little they're actually super lightweight, they're compact, but they blow up to
Mm.
be like a sleeping mat. And they're very thin, but if they're in good shape and like actually don't need to be replaced or anything, they're like really firm. Like they're better than like an air mattress or anything like that. Like they're really good for keeping you up off the ground. And they're insulated, so you can get ones that'll be good like in colder weather, so you're not freezing even though you're like kind of on the ground.
Mm.
Um, and then there's some other options too. Like you can have literally just like a rollout mat and a sleeping bag, or you can have like a rollout mat, a foam pad, a blow up pad, and like all these other things too if you're willing to carry the weight. But most people just pick like a sleeping bag and then one type of pad and that's it.
Yeah, because I think I've camped before, but I've never done backpacking. And like my mom, she camps a lot, and she has like she said she really likes the cot, but like you couldn't carry
Mhm.
that, but it gets you like way off the ground, and she's like she thinks that's like a game changer. But
Yeah.
yeah, it
Cots are
just
really, yeah, if you're like car camping, cots are
yeah.
really nice.
Yeah, my mom actually does. She just texted me the other day. Every year she goes on a women's camping trip, like with her sisters,
Ooh.
and or like a lot of it's like in-laws and like women friends, but it's very like girl power themed. Um, and she just said this year was their 33rd one, and I was like, 33? That's older than me. Like, mom, you've been doing like I didn't even know she's been doing this since before I was born. I mean, I knew she did it every year, but dang, that's just like impressive.
That's really cool. That's such like a fun tradition to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cute. I didn't like think about it, but it's like that's adorable that you do that with all your like girlfriends and stuff. Because she said like they're kind of she's kind of like old hippie. She used to be more hippie, or she still is kind of a hippie, but she said they're doing a thing where they're like, okay, bring something for everyone, like a little gifty thingy. And my mom was like, I'm making these little quote scrolls. So she's writing like quotes on a little piece of paper and like decorating and crafting them. She's a little crafty girl.
That's
And I was like, that's adorable.
cute. We gotta have something like that. We gotta start something. You guys
I
wanna
know.
go you guys
So
wanna
in
go
third
shit in urinals?
every
I'm
year.
sorry. I can't get away okay, okay, serious though. Uh, okay, you guys go. Serious ideas.
Friendship bracelets,
Yeah.
wine tours.
Oh, dude, wine tours are so sick. I've only been on one, but man, it was a blast.
I've never been on one. I've always wanted to.
Is it like of a brewery? What's a wine tour? Or
Yeah,
sorry,
So,
wineries.
winery?
Yeah.
I knew that
yeah.
was different.
You get a bus, go hit up a bunch of wineries.
Oh, okay. So it is like a I've heard people do that with breweries, but not wineries. So
Yeah.
you
We have
can
And
we have a big wine region in New
oh,
York. So
that
mhm.
makes
there's a
sense.
pretty popular area you can go to.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's like one of my friends that was what we did for her bachelorette party. We
Hmm.
did a wine tour.
Hmm.
And so we went to I want to say like at least 4 different wineries and it was great. I'm not really a big wine drinker, but I discovered a lot of wines that day that I was like this is great cuz in my head I'm just because I'm not a big wine drinker, I'm just kind of like, well, there's white wine and red wine, I guess. And there's like drier wines and sweeter wines. And I'm just kind of like,
Mhm.
that's all I know. But that day I was like, I mean, that was a while ago now. So I really don't, I haven't retained that information. And, but like they have, a lot of them had like stores within them that would sell things that you would eat to
Hmm.
pair with the different wines. So like anything from like different kinds of flavored crackers to different kinds of cheese curds, um, fruit, stuff like that. Some of them would be free, but a lot of them would be like, oh well, you're coming here to buy the wine and might as well buy whatever else so we can make money too. But it was a good time. We also embarrassed her by having her just carry around a gigantic inflatable penis. And so she just brought that around and was just like, "Hey guys, I'm getting married soon. Do you want to sign my inflatable penis?" And people would be like, "Yeah."
Nice.
You know how many people were like, "Yes." I
I
would
do. I've
love.
been waiting all day for someone to ask
Yeah.
me.
But yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, we should do a wine tour.
Hell yeah.
Uh, we went to a place. We've been doing this every year in the last couple of years. Um, down in Virginia, there is like an area. It's like a 10 or 15 mile stretch. It might be more than that. But there's this area where you can hit up like 20 different. There's like wineries, cideries, distilleries, breweries. I think it's everything. I think like all of your options. Uh, and there's a bunch of different options. So like you can hit all of them if you want to, but it's super expensive and a lot of time. But we've done it a couple years in a row now, and so now we have like our favorites, and we just go back to each of them and we try all the new things. And it's like a really fun day too, because you can mix and match. Because like Ben's brother Adam doesn't really care for wine that much, so like the wineries don't do anything for him, but he really likes the beer, and like Ben and I don't really drink a lot of beer, so it's really fun that we can like take turns, and it like means you can also like sober up a little bit between them, and then have like a second wind for the next place you're excited for. It's really cool. I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't think I've been to any of the. I just found a Virginia wine guide, and there's so many actually. They like break it up by region, but like even in one region, there's so many.
Trying
That's
to think what it's
crazy.
called, because the one that we really like is,
Yeah, if you know the general region, you could try to find it there.
yeah. So Blue or Bold Rock
Hmm,
is like a cider brand, which we don't really have up in New York, but is
really?
I'm told is like your guys's, like we have like 1911 and
Hmm.
Angry Orchard. Those are the two big ones up here.
Yeah, Bold
Uh
Rock's everywhere here.
yeah, so we went to Bold Rock Cidery. There's Blue Toad. Um I think Blue Ridge Pig was a restaurant maybe that we went to, but like that area, there's a bunch of different stuff. It looks like Wintergreen, Virginia, Beech Grove, Nelly's Ford. That area, there's a bunch of different stuff, and it's like all on the same road. I think it's 151 with a
Hmm.
couple of offshoots, and you can just go to a bunch of different things there. And we didn't. I was the designated driver the first time we did it, and then Ben's parents came the second time, so we made them drive.
Nice.
Uh, but we're doing it again this year for Ben's 30th, so definitely recommend
Hmm.
it. It's a lot of fun.
And it's probably pretty out there too, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah, you pass the on ramps for Blue Ridge. So
okay.
if you've got someone who's sober enough to drive it, it's beautiful.
I'll have to look at all the different ones and plan out what ones I know, if I know any of them, and then otherwise I'll just have to see. Probably any of them I would like, honestly, because I
Some
never
of
have
it's
like a drink that I'm like, ooh, bad.
some of it's just the fun of the experience. Like Blue Toad Cidery, um, we weren't as impressed with like most of their options as we were with Bold Rock. Like Bold Rock, everything we got there, like everyone really liked. It was all super good. And Blue Toad, we were like, yeah, most of this is like mid to a couple of standouts, but nothing like super crazy. But they had like 20 flavors on tap. So it was just the fun of getting like a big flight of everything and then passing it around the table so everyone could try and then we could pick our favorites, and like that was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I like it. I like getting a flight when they've got different colors. It's like, ooh,
Yeah. They
flavor.
had that. They had because they had like some fruity ones too. So they dye those so you get like, your typical cider colors. But then every once in a while they'd be like neon blue or green or something like that.
That's awesome.
Flights are just so fun in general. I like how they've kind of expanded to like food now, but I think it's
Mm.
always so fun to have different versions of something right in front of you so you could have like the little sampling size of like, hey, here's the all the different kinds of whatever we have. Try them all at once. And I don't know. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the like I don't I think I've only been to a tapas place once. I don't know if that's still a thing or if that's really like lame and nobody calls it that anymore. I know that's just like Spanish for like small plates, but I do like the idea of that. It stresses me out a lot though. I like sharing like I have a hard time sharing things because especially food because I eat so much. Like I'll do that with Tino with sushi. Like we'll each get one roll, but then we'll be like, "Oh,
Mm.
like we can eat both of them, you know?" But then it's like I have to count the number of rolls because I will just eat faster and eat more. And it's like I get so anxious. So I like need to draw a line in the sand of this is my portion.
Yeah.
But I love
Yeah.
variety.
It's so fun. Like I feel like whenever I go to restaurants and they have like a flight of something and I'm like, "Oh, I feel like that's I have a, like I feel like I gravitate towards that and I'm thinking like, "Oh, I could just get like something else." And then they'd be like, "Hey, we have," especially if there's like brunch flights of something, most likely like
Mm.
eggs benedict or something like that, right?
Ooh,
I've seen an eggs benedict flight before. I've seen
wow.
like I don't know, that's the most popular one, but like God, I was somewhere recently where they had a flight of something, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds cute." It was a dessert flight. They had different,
Ooh.
they had a
Hmm.
cheesecake flight. Um, so I don't know. I feel like those are cute.
Dessert's a good one because I could never like when menu or like restaurants will have like 5 desserts on their menu and it's like I don't know what to pick. They all seem fine. Would love a flight. Sample them all.
Mhm.
Are you guys? I see these like go around every once in a while. Did you grow up in the family that like if you go to a restaurant you get appetizers and dessert, or did you just get entrees and nothing else?
I feel like we were never
Mm.
getting appetizers, but my dad would always offer dessert. And I feel like we would half the time get it maybe. Or like he would because he's a big dessert guy.
I feel like my family did both, but we would just made like either us not really eat much of our entree or not eat the dessert, but we'd still order it, and then we just bring stuff home. I don't know,
Hmm.
I think we just my family kinda just ordered whatever, and then we just ended up having a lot of leftovers, or we would just not eat whatever. Yeah, I don't know, like, the appetizers would be really filling, and then by the time the entree would come, we'd be like, "Oh, wow. Shouldn't have ordered that appetizer," you know?
Yeah.
How about you?
No, we never got appetizers or entree or appetizers or dessert as a kid. Uh, I don't know. My family was just super weird about it. It was always like dessert was always kind of like a script too. As we'd get to the end of it, it's like, anyone want dessert? It's like, no, I'm full, I'm good. Like without fail, no one ever bought it, but we always asked about it. But now as an adult, I'm like, in the mood for all of it. So I'll get all of it, and if I don't eat it, oh well.
That's so funny that they always asked if no one was getting them. I would be
Yeah,
like,
like even if you kind of wanted it, like we just didn't order it, so it'd be weird for me to ask for it when I know no
right.
one else would get it.
Right. It's like it wouldn't even be what you think. You'd just be like, no, no, I guess not.
Yeah. Yeah, then I got a job and had my own money, and now I buy whatever I want.
That's the good life.
Hmm. Or
Yeah,
dessert first.
I feel like desserts, some restaurants, they're not even that good. They just have them there just to have them. Like, I think
Yeah.
back in the day, it was like maybe like an Applebee's or a. Do you guys have Big Boys?
Mm-mm.
Is that a
No.
local chain? I think it's like almost dead now, but there was a chain called Big Boys. Wait, so you've never seen a Big Boys? Now I gotta
No.
send you the picture of the titular Big Boy.
I gotta
Oh,
see
he's
this
he's
big
kind of
boy.
creepy now that I think about it. That's Big Boy.
Oh,
Oh, wait, yeah, I think we definitely don't have him up here, but, like,
You
I
recognize him?
I recognize him.
was he used in like a movie or something? I feel like I remember it like him,
Because
like
he was out.
Ghostbuster style, like coming to
Yeah,
life.
yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. It's got to be, like, a horror movie that I don't know, they zoomed in on just the eyes or something?
Austin Powers. He comes to life in Austin Powers, a la Ghostbusters. He comes to life and like destroys the town.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways, go on. Big
their
boys.
their desserts I feel like were never good. Like we'd get them sometimes, but it was like not worth it.
So are they like an Applebee's then?
That's what it made me think of. Yeah, they might be diner-ish, which Applebee's is not really anymore, is it?
I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
so. I mean, I haven't. I think because they get the bar and everything.
Mm.
I just know.
Yeah.
I hate Applebee's. I I'll try like when people talk about Apple. Like there was one time I was talking to someone and they said like I had to fix my face when I heard them say this, but because I was just like, okay, Melody, just you can't you're gonna come off as judgmental, but I was like, oh, it's too late. My face already betrayed me. They said something along the lines of, or we could get something fancy like Applebee's, and I was like, like
What?
I was just like, no.
You're like, excuse
And
me?
I knew my face was super like, get the fuck out. What are you talking about?
But like they deserve that. I mean, who the hell thinks
Yeah,
Applebee's
dude.
is
I
fancy?
was like, what? Applebee's? And I don't know. If we have any listeners that likes Applebee's, I'm sorry, but I shit on your favorite restaurant. That place sucks.
I don't think Applebee's is anybody's favorite.
Ugh, I don't know, man. It might be. It
I think
might be.
Someone's gonna come out of the woodwork and fight me on that, but that's okay.
They'll
in
leave a comment. They'll be like, "It's my favorite restaurant."
No offense. Get a better restaurant.
see, I feel like
Seriously.
in my small town, Applebee's was one of the nicer places to go to. So like I distinctly remember Tino taking me on dates to Applebee's. And it's not like our favorite, but like it was like, oh, this is nice. But like
But it's not fancy. You
no,
would never use the word
but
fancy
it
to
was
describe an
I feel
Applebee's.
like for that area, like it was good because there was just nothing else. There wasn't like a local, yeah. I mean, there's local restaurants, but I think in certain areas it just like that hits the spot for, just there's not a lot of creativity in the area.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at least growing up too, is like my dad was super picky. So for us, like we didn't go outside of like American, Italian, and maybe Chinese food. So like Applebee's was kind of the nicer of the options because you had choices like a longer menu, but
Yeah.
we were also poor, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But you guys aren't describing as fancy. That's the thing. It's
No,
just
no,
like
no. God, no.
It's
that's
not
why
fancy.
that's why that word got me so hard when she said that. And I was like, excuse me. Like I was like, I've never heard anyone describe Applebee's as fancy. And that would be extra crazy if they were
I
serious about it.
I dress up to go to Applebee's. Only my finest casual.
I mean, if you're eating all fast food, then I think that's where it becomes like, oh, Applebee's, a classy
Ooh.
establishment.
Oh my god. I'm curious. Now I just want to go and see what I gotta come visit. We gotta come visit you, and I need to see all the different restaurants that we don't have in New York.
Yeah, I Big Boy was around when I was in Michigan, and I think even the ones in Michigan are like gone under now. So I don't know where they are.
Ooh, rip.
I guess there's a ton still in Michigan. Just maybe more closer to Detroit.
It's the eyes and like the pale skin that really make him
Like it's his
quite
creepy
scary.
cheeks and smile.
Maybe all of him. I don't know. Maybe it's just like the checkered overalls and the swoop in the hair is fine, but like what a mascot.
Yeah, literally.
He's something.
Well, I guess most mascots are spooky, right?
Especially
I was
humanoid ones.
Yeah, I was always afraid of them growing up.
The creepiest one, sports one. I don't know words. The is it Pennsylvania? Do you guys know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
is it Gritty? Is that what he's called?
That's a hockey guy, I think. Hockey mascot,
He's
right?
pretty unsettling though.
This one is like bad. I think it's football. Oh God. Okay, the Nittany Lion. Have you heard of that one?
Nit,
Pennsylvania State
Nittany
University. It just is like the
Lion.
most
Oh.
low budget looking, but it is their current mascot. So that's my vote for other creepy mascot.
He's he's got soulless eyes. He's like a Five Nights at Freddy's character.
He's just so
Yeah.
low budget looking, but that's like literally like they'll have him next to like the where I'm like from, it was like the Ohio one and like the MSU one was God, the Ohio one's a big nut. Do you know that? It's a their mascot is a nut, a buckeye. That's a type of
What?
nut. Like what the fuck? Anyway, I'm just brain rotting here.
Is the Nittany lion a real thing?
I think it's a type of lion. See, like that guy next to that guy, like what? Those don't belong in the same field. The Buckeye guy next to the Nittany lion, like those are two different. Like that's like a child's dress up. I don't know.
Uh,
Huh. Okay, so apparently the Nittany lion is like a uh, divisive topic about whether or not the mountain lion was ever in that region. So I guess it's like a, it's not a cryptid, but it's definitely a,
It's a
maybe it existed, maybe it didn't.
oh, like it's a made up type of lion?
I think Nittany is like the area, so it's where it was spotted, but
Oh.
maybe there was never any lion there.
They're like,
yeah,
we
dude.
definitely have lions.
Yeah, exactly.
They gotta rework that mascot outfit. I don't know. I feel like there's better placement of things that could happen here.
Be spooky.
I like how his hands are just like it's just like sleeves. It's
Yeah.
just it just looks like
Yeah.
so not it's just like somebody's outfit.
Cryptids. Um, there was a cryptid, I think. I don't know where it's supposed to have come from. I gotta look it up now. But I think there was a cryptid that someone came up with and they just called it it's supposed to be an owl cryptid. And it's just called Big Hoot. And I remember when I heard that, I was like, that's hilarious.
I
Cryptids
love
are so
that.
fun.
Just Bigfoot version of owl, Big Hoot.
Big hoot.
Um
We should make a cryptid.
oh, West Virginia, I guess, is where this is supposed to someone came up with it.
West
And
Virginia
they
has all of the cryptids though.
yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, I would say there was a period of time where I just like was reading all of the cryptid stories, and my favorite is still Mothman, which is like a lady was driving home one night, and this big thing flies across like in front of the road in front of her. And I don't remember all the details anymore, but like maybe she, I don't remember, she crashes her car or she goes home, or but basically she has this like dream that the bridge is going to collapse, and that this bridge in town is going to collapse, and then like weeks later it happens, and she's like, something warned me, it must have been whatever this creature was. And so she goes to talk to like some local like wildlife scientists, and they're like, yeah, based on your description, like it sounds like it's probably this specific bird, like what you have described sounds exactly like this bird. And she's like, no, it was not a bird, it was definitely a giant mothman. And they're like, no, no, like what you've visually described is this bird. And she's like, no, nuh-uh. And so like she just runs with it, and they like turn it into a movie, and it's this whole thing. But basically like there's a very valid scientific explanation for what she saw, and she's just like, no, no, it's the Mothman. And so now he's huge and very popular, and they have a shiny chrome statue of the Mothman in whatever that town is.
Point Pleasant, right? I
I think
think it
so.
is. I I feel like that's like a huge part of their like tourism and stuff, like
Oh yeah, nowadays.
right? Like a draw, like people will go there. I feel like that'd be cool to visit just to see all that stuff, even though it's like all for a made up thing. But like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so fun. I love it. I mean, have you seen the Mothman statue? He's got
Mm-mm.
he's got cheeks.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Damn.
He's got a booty?
Yeah. Oh, very much so. It's very detailed.
What the hell?
Will we be able to title this Mothman's ass? Or will the ass just like get will we not be able to use ass?
I don't know. Here.
Let's see
We
what
can
happens.
title it Mothman's Got Cheeks.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow. Mothman does have cheeks.
can't tell if he's got a long butt crack, or we're just like at the angle where like I don't normally see butts from that angle.
I think he's like elevated, so you're
Yeah,
kind of getting like full view.
big booty.
Wow. Uh, okay, Mothman. Shit.
So wait, does he predict the future? Like what happened with the bridge?
So the problem is that like the story and like the movie all blend together with the real story that happened, which is like I don't think she really predicted anything. I don't
Hmm.
really believe any of that stuff. But I think in the movie they make it out that like he visits the main character and then like gives her visions of tragedy,
Hmm.
but it's not really a good or a bad thing. It's just like he makes people aware that things are about to happen, kind of like Final Destination style.
Hmm.
Uh, and then those things happen, and then they try to save people that supposedly died on the bridge or whatever. So he's just around. He's just there. But I love cryptids. I think they're so stupid. Have you heard? I don't know if you guys know about the Loch Ness monster. Uh, the the loch, like that specific body of water, is one of the single most researched bodies of water because there's this scientist who every single year is like, yeah, we're going to hunt for the Loch Ness monster and I'm going to get all of this funding because people are obsessed with cryptids and obsessed with researching monsters. And so every year he's like, damn, there's no sign of the Loch Ness monster, but there could be. So keep paying for next year. And he's just doing like actual science on the water the whole time.
Hmm.
But it's been going on for like a decade, and it's genuinely the most documented body of water I think in the world because he just gets massive amounts of funding for it every single year. It's so good.
How do people with money like fall for that?
Hey, they want to know.
They're like, we've learned nothing over these past, whatever years, but like maybe.
Maybe.
Not gonna lie, if I had like just disposable amounts of money, I would fucking donate the shit out of it because I think that would be one hilarious, but two, in the event that something actually comes like the concrete evidence comes out of it, I'd be like, "Ha! I donated to this. I was part of the reason why this evidence was found."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that this stuff is still like so prevalent even till to like I mean, I'm when I looked up Mothman like a day ago or two, well, actually there's like a few here that I found articles, a few different articles from like ranging from a day ago to a couple days ago to last week where people are still discussing whether or not it's real and all the eyewitness accounts and pieces of evidence, quote unquote evidence that people have found and like just general sightings because I guess also people have said that they've not only seen Mothman in West Virginia, but also in other parts of the US. So
Hmm.
I didn't realize that was a thing. I thought it was just a West Virginia thing.
Yeah. Everyone wants to be included.
True, true, true. Just like how Bigfoot's like everywhere.
Yeah.
Literally everywhere. There people be like, "Yeah, he's in New York." Nah, he's in California. No, he's in Texas. Every I bet you every state has had someone say that they've seen Bigfoot in it.
Oh
For
yeah.
sure.
Well, I think we can go ahead and wrap. I saw something actually that I will say for next time because I just saw it on a note here that I made. Wh- While I was going through our past messages, I found that we never discussed something that I just messaged about one day. All I put in here was Shrek competition. Did we ever
Oh,
talk about that?
no, I don't think
Okay,
No.
so.
we'll start off with it next time. All right. Till next time. Bye
Uh,
bye.
Bye.
bye.